Hey everybody, I'm Mike.
I'm Abby.
Welcome to You've Got Played. Today we're going to be talking about a teeny tiny little game called
Dig.
So Dig is a game that plays 2 to 4 players. Came out in 2017 and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to play. The first thing you're going to notice is the tiny little box that this game comes in. But yes, this is the entire game and there's quite a game packed into this little box. This is one of a set of games called the Pack of Game because it comes in this kind of tiny little gum pack. We actually have another one called Orc, which maybe we'll review in the future. It's a 2-player game that plays a little bit like Loot, if you've ever played that. But we'll save that for another time. Today we're talking about Dig, so we're going to show you how to play Dig in just a bit, and then we're going to come back and discuss what we think of the game. Right? So see you soon. All right, so this is a setup of the game Dig. Pretty simple. What you're just going to do is put the doghouse card on one end of the table, shuffle up the rest of the cards and put them going from the doghouse all the way until you run out of cards. It actually extends beyond the camera here. And then you're pretty much ready to go. There's 2 types of cards. There are cards that are kind of ground cards that have these bone scents coming out of them. And then there are cards that are dog bowls that have corresponding colors to the bone smells coming out of the ground. There's a blue, green, purple, red, and yellow. When you're ready to play, you get 2 to 4 dogs. You start them off at the doghouse here, and you just determine who wants to go first, and you're ready to go. So on your turn, you have 3 actions, right? And those actions could be move, dig, or drop. When you move, as long as you're not holding any bones, you get 4 movement points. So technically, if you didn't want to dig up any bones or drop any bones, you can move up to 12 spaces on a turn. All right, so let's say I wanted to take a turn here, and I wanted to go and dig up this ground right here, which is going to have either a purple or either a green bone. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, which counts as 1 action, right? Because I'm holding no bones. I dig up this bone, which happens to be a green bone. And then let's say I go, I want to move again. But now that I'm holding a bone, I can only go up to 3 spaces on a move. If I was holding 2 bones, I can only go up to 2 spaces. If I'm holding 3 bones, I can only go up to 1. So I can go up to 3 spaces now. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, start to make my way to this green bowl right here. Now, you notice there's a space here. What you're going to do is grab the card all the way at the end of the line and then bring it right back here. And that's whether it's either one of these cards or whether it's a bowl. And that's important to note for end game scoring. So then it is, and also you're going to keep these hidden. I know I have this shown for demonstration purposes, but normally the other players wouldn't see that. So this person's going to go, and let's say they go, 2, they pick up a bone as their second action. It's a purple bone. And then they go, they can actually go, 2 more, and they don't have to go up to 3 or 4, and they could just stop here. You're going to go back and forth until eventually one dog gets to a bowl, and then they will take 1 action to drop that bone of the same color in. When they do that, they get to put it in their score pile for the end of the game. So the game essentially goes back and forth like this until, and I'm not going to do this, but until all these cards are gone, and you're just left with these bowls, these 5 bowls at the end. Let's get all these out of the way. 5 bowls at the end. Once the board looks like this, or the table looks like this, you're ready to score. The scoring is interesting, right? So what you actually do is you score 5 points for the nearest color bowl, what could of course change, 4 points for the second, 3, 2, and 1. Bones are only scored if you dug them up and you drop them in a bowl. You don't get scored anything for just bones that your dog is currently carrying. And that's it. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. All right, we're back. So that was a bit on how to play Dig. Now we're going to talk about the game, discuss what we like, dislike, maybe what we change, and then ultimately give it a score. So let's start off. Let's give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Ready, Abby?
Yep.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thumb sideways.
All right, she got a thumb sideways. So I give it a thumbs up. She gives it a thumb sideways. So I'm curious why you're not giving a thumbs up, but I guess we'll find out in just a bit. So why don't we talk about what we like about the game? Since I gave the thumbs up, I'll start. So I think the best thing about this game, the size, right? This is something you can just kind of slide in your pocket. You could bring out somewhere. You could bring to a brewery or a picnic somewhere and just kind of pull it out, play a quick game. 10, 15 minutes tops. Very minimal setup. Scales really well from either 2 to 4 players. And it's not just a completely mindless game, right? It definitely requires some strategy and some thinking. So for a game this small, like really truly the size of a gum pack, that you can kind of pull out and actually get some thought and some strategy and some competition, pretty good.
Yes.
How about you?
Yes, I love this game, but there's some dislikes that I have. That's why I give this one sideways.
So you love it, but there's some dislikes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing I really like about the cover is the eye in Dig is a bone.
Yeah. The eye in Dig. Yeah, Dig, it's probably hard to see, but if you look at the cover, the eye is a bone.
Yes.
Very clever. And it says a fetching game of Seek with a dog's butt on it. So great. So why don't you tell me what you disliked about it? Because you're the one who gave it the thumb sideways.
Okay. Now, the thing I dislike about this game is if you have, say you have 3 bones, you get to go 2 spaces.
No, you get to go 1 space if you have 3 bones.
If you get,
So maybe what you dislike is that it's confusing to figure out how far you can travel if you're holding bones?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And if you have 1 bone, you get to go,
3 spaces.
yes. If you get 2, it keeps going. If you have more and more bones, you keep going slower and slower and slower.
Yeah. So I think if that would be kind of, real life, if a dog had a whole bunch of bones in his mouth or weighing him down, he couldn't really go super fast.
I've never seen that before, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a dog holding multiple bones in their mouth, but yeah, I think that's kind of what that. So you think you should have just a movement regardless?
Yes.
I guess you could play that way. I think it was put into play so that you're not hoarding bones, and you have to kind of plan your move. Maybe I'm going to pick up this bone, and I don't know if that's purple or yellow because it could be either or. So there's a little bit of roll the dice that goes into it. And then maybe the bone next to it, because that could also be green, let's say, and maybe the purple and green bowls are together, and you can kind of plan your moves to get as many bones in the bowls without, sacrificing a lot of your turn. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But there's always a risk reward. Maybe you pick up a whole bunch of bones and they weren't the ones you needed, and now your dog's, kind of going slow and not doing so great. Okay. That's fair. I don't really dislike a whole lot about this game. I think it takes up a lot of table space, believe it or not. So as this tiny little box, you do need kind of a long table because every single card in here kind of gets set out, in a line.
Like you don't need a wide table, you need a long table.
A long table, yeah.
Because it's so tiny, but it takes a lot of room.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, any kitchen table I think should or gaming table should be able to accommodate it. But if you're limited on space, it may be a bit difficult to set up. But I think that's probably the only thing that I would say I dislike about it. Yeah. So with that, would you change anything? I guess you would change the fact that you would let the dogs just run wild regardless of how many bones they have in their mouth.
That's the only thing I would change because, except that,
It's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I don't think I'd change anything.
Yeah.
I think it's, for what it tries to do, it's pretty good. I mean, it's as I stated before, it's not this big grandiose game. It doesn't try to be, but what it tries to do, I think it kind of hits the nail right on the head. So, all right, well, with that, we can probably close this one up. So let's just give it a final score, and then call it a day. Yeah. So what's your final score for this one?
My final score is a 6.5.
6.5 out of 10.
Yes.
All right, so out of 10. Yeah, I would go higher. I think I'd give it a 7.5.
It gets the 0.5 because it's about dogs.
It's about dogs. Yeah, the theme is cool. I mean, I guess that's right? You like the theme because you're a dog running around digging up bones and dropping them in bowls, and it kind of feels like that while you play a little bit, right?
No.
I think so. I think it does. So I give it also a plus 5 for, I guess, the theme. But it was scoring it a bit higher than a 6.5. I'd give it a 7.5. So cool. Well, I think that does it. If you like this video, certainly like and subscribe. We intend on putting out more videos in the future, and for that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care.